Hello, 안녕하세요. This is the local anesthesia series part 2 using multiple local anesthesia. Let's get into it. Okay, we use multiple local anesthesia solutions. So we don't stick on lidocaine or articaine, but we can mix them together. But the reason why I love to use lidocaine and articaine together is lidocaine is pretty much safer. I feel like it is safer to do the blocks, while the Articaine is very good with the infiltration. There are some reports that Articaine is likely to cause paresthesia. It has a higher. It doesn't mean that it is always causing, but there are some reports that the Articaine caused some paresthesia. So I want to avoid it. So if you are injecting it directly on the nerve block, then some patients experience that. So I don't do block with the Articaine, but some doctors say that you don't need to think about it. Just the Articaine is the best and inject Articaine. I love Articaine. But for me, I don't want to risk anything, so I just go block with the lidocaine. It doesn't mean that lidocaine doesn't care paresthesia, but all the local anesthesia may cause paresthesia, so neurotoxicity. They all have a slight neurotoxicity, but yeah, the report says that the Articaine has a little bit more. So it is all depends on your experience, and but it is always good to take a note about the scientific ratio and some risks percentage. So we mix them together. So in at the time you use the multiple local anesthesia, you need to know how to calculate it, because we don't want to overdose the patient and risk the patient by addressing wrong local anesthesia amount. So here are the two rules that you need to follow. The total dose of both local anesthesia should not exceed the lower of the two calculated maximum doses, which means that you need to calculate these two maximum dose, and you need to select one. Okay, so subtract the already given dose from the selected amount. So if you have given one of these carpule, you need to subtract this to the selected maximum dose. You will get into it, and this is the doses, maximum dose and the maximum total dose that you must memorize. If you want to know the basic of the local anesthesia, please watch the part 1. Now it is part 2. So let's calculate with an example. A patient is 100 pounds and used 1 carpule of Xylocaine, 2%. Xylocaine is a lidocaine brand name, and I intentionally used the term Xylocaine because it is not always that you will see lidocaine in the clinic, because many medications are named after the company's preferred name. So Xylocaine, if you see the ingredients, it has the lidocaine. So lidocaine 2%. What is the maximum number of carpules of the Articaine 4% you can use? Okay, so we are dealing with lidocaine and Articaine. So first we need to select which maximum dose to use. So lidocaine is, as we can see from here, since we are dealing with the pounds, we will go with 2.0, and for the Articaine 3.2, right? If you want to know more about maximum dose, please watch part 1. So 2.0 to calculate the maximum dose times 100 pounds, the patient's weight, and it becomes 200 milligram, right? For the Articaine, if you times 3.2 milligram per pound to 100 pound, then it becomes 320 milligram, which is the lower. As we had here the rule, we choose the lower of the two calculated maximum dose, right? So the one that which is lower is of course the lidocaine. So we stick to this, okay? We don't choose articaine because it is higher, and we should not exceed 200 milligram, okay? For the safe side. So we chose maximum dose, and let's calculate how much we have given the patient already, okay? So here the statement says that we have given one carpule of the xylocaine, which is the lidocaine, 2%. So in the part 1, we dealt that one carpule is 17 milliliter, but some carpule has 80 milliliter. So depending on what brand of carpule you use, and also given to you in the exam. So let's say in this question, we are given that one carpule is 17 milliliter. And in one carpule, if it is 1%, only 17 milligram of lidocaine is inside. But since it is 2%, how many? Times 2, okay? If it is 1%, it is 70 milligram. But since it is 2%, 17 times 2, so it becomes 34 milligram. So we have already given 34 milligram to the patient. So if you subtract 34 from 200, then it'll be 166 milligram. So we have a 166 milligram more to give. We can give safely within 166, but it should not exceed 166, right? So now we are going to change our gear to Articaine. Articaine has a 4%. One of the reasons why Articaine is more toxic is because it has a higher concentration according to some reports, some studies. So, but yeah, I'm just giving you extra information. So Articaine, it has a 68 milligram of Articaine inside one carpule, which is 19 milliliter. So how we calculate is 17 milligram times 4. Okay, so 64 milligram per carpule. Is it crystal clear? So we need to calculate the number of carpules of the Articaine. 4% that we can give the patient is 166 divided by 68. If you divide, because this 166 came from here, maximum dose left, which is that we can give patient more, and the 68 is from here, from the Articaine's um, Articaine in one carpule. So if you calculate it, let's say calculate together, even though it has all the answers there, we can give 2, and it becomes 3, and it becomes 4, 4, like that. Okay, so we can give 2.44 carpule. Are you good so far? Right? So if in the multiple choice, number 1 is 2.44. Number 2 is 2.5. What would be the answer? Yes, 1.44 is, since it is exactly matching with the answer, it is the answer. But what if What if number one is sorry, number one is 2.5, number two is 2.4, number three is 2.0. What is the answer? Of course, number one is not, okay? Number one is not because it is greater than 2.44, but number two is the closest one. What if there are number one, 2.5, number two, uh, 2.0? What is the answer? Of course, 2.0, even though 2.5 seems to be closer, but we should never exceed this number. So the answer is 2.0 is a better answer. So don't round it up, but rather round it down aggressively is better than getting which is more than this. So as I mentioned here, not 2.5, but 2 carpules or 2.4 carpules. So that's it. I hope you understood. And didn't, if you didn't understand, please watch part one and then proceed with this part two. You will have a better understanding. And may God bless your study and be an amazing dentist. See you.